we're standing here on the KC River Walk on the banks of the Congaree, just downstream of the Gervais Street Bridge, where across the river there's a proposed coal tar cleanup project that is the result of pollution of coal tar originating from a 1950s coal gasification plant. The coal tar came through a culvert that was dumped into the river for disposal and has been sitting on the bottom of the riverbed ever since. When it was determined in 2010 that in parts of the plume there's up to a foot deep of coal tar, they decided that there needed to be cleanup efforts taken. SE&G signed a voluntary cleanup agreement based on their environmental cleanup fund that they keep, and proposed, along with some local agencies and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, 4 policy alternatives for cleanup, ranging from a $0 cleanup and doing nothing to middle-of-the-road monitoring programs to a full $18.5 million capital cost cleanup project, including the building of a Cofferdam, which will dam a third of a mile of the river at about half the width of the riverbed for water to be pumped up, sediment be pulled up, and then the coal tar removed. So along with the $18.5 million capital cost, in the cost analysis report, it is needed to bring into account things such as loss of ecosystem services, loss of endangered species, and impact on recreation.
There are multiple environmental impacts associated with the coal tar removal project of the Congaree River here behind me. Initial impacts would be coming from sedimentation downstream due to disturbance from the construction project, which would be happening directly behind me. The sediment would accumulate downstream and cause potential impacts to both aquatic life and aquatic fauna. The next impact would be human health impacts, which is there are known carcinogens in the sandbar behind me as well as in the river bottom. The short-nosed sturgeon uses this river, which is an endangered species, and so whenever an environmental plan is put into place, it has to account for the short-nosed sturgeon, as well as the Riffinesque big-eared bat lives in the Congaree Bridge here behind me, and so the construction project could potentially affect its migration as well as its mating habits. The next impact would be changes to flow, which is to say if they use a Cofferdam on one side of the river, it would erode the opposite side's bank, which would erode the bank on the Casey side, which is where the Casey River Walk is, which is tied to a lot of recreational services and a lot of direct and indirect use. An economic impact associated with the coal tar removal project is the potential loss to fisheries. The striped bass run from coastal South Carolina, they run up the river and they spawn at shallower waters upstream. So any disturbance in that run would need to be assessed for environmental as well as economic impacts. The Congaree River is a public good that has both direct use and existence value. Non-market valuation of species loss and loss to environmental services should be included in a benefit cost analysis.
There are a number of recreational and commercial uses associated with the Congaree River and the West Columbia Riverwalk area that could be impacted by the proposed coal tar cleanup project happening across the way. These include biking, running, walking. Lots of people use the water to tube, kayak, fish. Many people come out and hang on this green space and enjoy a picnic, and just down from us there is a small amphitheater where they host small music festivals in the warmer months. So obviously a project such as this one is going to have some type of negative impact on all of these activities. I interviewed several people down here using the park today to try to determine some type of non-market valuation of the environmental amenities of the Riverwalk area. One gentleman told me he had traveled up to 30 miles to be here today, and he comes twice a month. I asked him to put a price on the use value of this. He couldn't give me a dollar figure, but he said it is a great value to him, and something would likely have to happen for him to be able to quantify that value further. 2 other people told me that the value was invaluable to the local community. In other words, they could not put a dollar figure on it. And the last person told me she would pay about $100 a month to be able to use this walkway right here.